مغفرت جميع اموات مؤمنین و مسلمین، خاصا مرحوم مغفور تازه گذشته از دنیا، اجماعا صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى. إن إلى ربك الرجعى. أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى. أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى. أرأيت إن كذب وتولى. أرأيت إن كذب وتولى. ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى. ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. على رسول الله وصحبه الأخيار. بر محمد آل محمد صلوات.
به نام خدا. So first I'll do the Persian translation. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. بخوان به نام پروردگارت که آفرید، انسان را از علق آفرید. بخوان و پروردگار تو کریم ترین است، همان کس که به وسیله قلم آموخت آنچه را که انسان نمیدانست آموخت. حقاً که انسان سرکشی می کند، همین که خود را بی نیاز پندارد. در حقیقت بازگشت به سوی پروردگار توست. آیا دیدی آن کس را که باز می داشت بنده ای را آنگاه که نماز می گذارد؟ چه پنداری اگر او بر هدایت باشد یا به پرهیزگاری وادارد؟ برای او بهتر نیست؟ و باز آیا چه پنداری که اگر او به تکذیب پردازد و روی برگرداند چه کیفری در پیش دارد؟ مگر ندانسته که خدا می‌بیند؟ صلوات. و اکنون ترجمه انگلیسی. Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging mass. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man what he did not know. Indeed, man becomes rebellious when he considers himself without need. Indeed, to your Lord is the return. Tell me, he who forbids a servant when he prays, tell me, should he be on true guidance or bid others to God-weariness? Tell me, should he call him a liar and turn away? Does he not know that Allah sees? Salawat. Brothers and sisters, I will just need a couple of minutes of your time to set up, and then I will be back promptly. In the meantime, I would like to ask everyone to send a Fatiha to the dear community member who has passed away. So, a Fatiha with a loud salawat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, it is my honor to be here today on the birthday anniversary of Imam Hassan al-Askari, salawatullah alayh. It is definitely a great Eid for us, although I guess everyone has been busy and we haven't been able to hold a good enough ceremony. But nonetheless, congratulations on you all on the birthday of the father of Imam Zaman, especially for Imam Zaman himself. This is definitely a special day for the Imam. برادر خواهران عزیز، شنبه فردا سالگرد میلاد امام حسن عسکری پدر امام زمان هستش، صلوات الله علیه. این عید بر شما و همه مسلمانان مبارک باشه. انشالله به امید روزی که این عید رو در ظهور و در حضور امام زمان با هم جشن بگیریم. Today we have a special session, a first in a series, and we're starting strong, inshallah. So the mosque has, the plan is that we are looking back into the community and trying to study or get inspiration from the story of successful Muslims in our community, successful community members, and looking at their story, how they have gotten to where they are right now. And in the first series, it is my honor to have Dr. Jafar AlJazeeri here. Jazeeri, sorry, I had never heard. Yeah. So please join me in inviting him with a loud salawat.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First, we'll start with Basmala, because any start of anything without Basmala is not a start of that thing. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala khayri khalqihi Muhammad wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the whole community. I am honored and humbled by this invitation. And before I start talking about my background, I'd like to highlight one important thing here. So as Brother Taha has mentioned, this is a series of telling a story about some of the community member. And it's not about to impress anyone by any mean. And we have many, all of you guys, all of you are great. And everyone has a successful journey, successful history. It is a journey, regardless whether it has failures, it has ups and downs. Everyone has a journey, and everyone we can learn from. This is no doubt. The moment you feel you're not learning from anyone, the moment you're dead, I think. So, and I'm starting this series because for whatever the reason was, someone has to start it. That was it. So, and I'm going to start it, and every now and then, I think every month or so, we'll have someone, and we learn from every individual. So that's just the background about these series. So a little bit background about me. I am your servant here. And my name, as Brother Taha said, everyone knows me probably. And for those who don't know me, my name is Jafar AlJazeeri.
Sorry.
No problem. So, and I was. You have the map here. I'll take this out.
Yeah, that's easier.
I was born in a small village in Al-Ahsa. Al-Ahsa is a province in the eastern part of Saudi Arabia. And the village that I was born in is a very small, maybe 1,000 people. But the big advantage for that small village is all of them are Shia. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So it was not only a village of neighbors, it was a village of same family. Family and neighbors are all within the same family under the wilayat Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And I was born there, raised there. I lived until the age of 18 in that little village. But when I was 4, I lost my father. And I did not know what was wrong with my father at that time. I just figured out recently, actually. And my father passed away because of lung cancer. And I'm a pulmonologist, and I diagnose patients with lung cancer. That did not have any influence for me to choose lung cancer. So I'm not trying to make up a story that because my father passed from lung cancer, I became pulmonologist, for example. But I figured out just recently, because I wasn't sure how he passed away, because he died in his young age, and I mean his 50s. But I was young, and then later on I was trying to figure out. I started to ask, and then I heard from multiple stories it was lung cancer. Anyhow, I grew up in that little village. I had my basic education, elementary school, high school, and then when I was 17, 18, I moved to another city to do my college degree education. And the city is in Dammam. I don't know, almost 2 hours from where I was born, 1 hour and a half to 2 hours. And I joined medical school when I was 18. The system in Saudi Arabia was, we don't have the undergrad and postgrad. I think similarly in Iran, you can join medical school right away. It was like the British-Irish system, so different than the American or Canadian. And I was privileged to, for some reason, I was number 1 in high school. So my score were good. I applied for Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Awalan wa Akhira, and got accepted to medical school. And I had to move to another city when I was 18, and that was my first time to live by myself, away from my family, and that was the spark of my start. And I know probably have more questions, but I can continue with the journey. So, for sure. And I'll come to you. So then, where is this?
Give us a second. Sorry, there is a IT issue that they're taking care of it now. And yes, here it is. Oh,
yeah. There is. So this is these are the pictures of my wedding. More than, should we announce what year we got married? So more than a little bit over 10 years ago, we got married. I got married with Sister Sukaina, and she was a great help through multiple steps in my life. At that time, I was not living in Saudi Arabia. I moved to Canada, where I continued to do my postgrad medical education. And Sukaina was a great help. She was a mother, she was a wife, she was a second person. She's my second half, and she helped me through every step I went through my postgrad education. And I think that is an important um, cornerstone in my success in life, and I can't deny that. And I think you see, we have two children, Musa and Fatima. You'll see them walking around.
And winning Kahoot. You
And
always see
Musa
Musa
is
winning
playing Kahoot, yes. And just will end. We'll stop. And then, yeah, in 2011, I moved to Canada, and for the purpose of doing my postgrad education, and I did my residency training at McMaster University in Hamilton. If anyone is familiar with the universities in Canada and Ontario, I did residency training, and then I did the fellowship. And if someone is not in medical field, probably will think about what is the postgrad medical education. It's different than the other academic track of master degree and PhD. We do something we called residency training to specialize in some area in medicine. And when you finish that, you write the American board or Canadian board. These are medical, but clinical and medical higher education degrees. So I did my residency training in Hamilton in Canada, then did fellowship, and I work a little bit in Canada until these are the years where we had the training, night shifts, working 24-hour shifts, coffee all the time, and we were presenting multiple research projects and multiple conferences throughout our education. Now one step, and now until until 2020, something happened. So if you ask me in 2019, Brother Taha, would you ever think about coming to the United States or working in Pennsylvania or living in Pennsylvania? I would say no. My visit to Pennsylvania in 2020 was the first visit to Pennsylvania. And I am a pulmonologist, by the way. Pulmonologist is a lung doctor, a doctor who specializes in treating respiratory diseases. And as you all know, COVID-19 was killing people because of the infection in the lungs. And 2020, when they announced COVID-19, I wasn't sure where my life will end, because borders were like in a lockdown. You can't travel. I do some procedure like bronchoscopy and other lab, but labs were shut down. So the only work was inside the hospital to treat very sick patients because of COVID. And I don't remember the exact reason, but for some reason there was a communication between one of the VP, one of the vice president of one of the healthcare system in Pennsylvania. I was looking for a job in Canada that they have open access, not under the lockdown. Then one of the VP called me, say, "You're a pulmonologist, and we are in need for a pulmonologist. Are you willing to move to Pennsywnia?" And I wasn't sure exactly the map of Pennsylvania. And then it was like back and forth. I was in the look for a job. I found some other jobs in different states and even inside Canada, but not the job I was looking for because of the limitation with COVID-19. And also, I didn't have a visa to come to the United States. It was not in my, it was, one of the consideration, but not the full plan. The bottom line, anyhow, they showed me, they offered me a job and they asked me, "Can you come?" And with a discussion back and forth, I agreed and I signed the contract and I came to Pennsylvania. And here I am since 2020 in the United States.
Alhamdulillah. Great thing that we have you here. So I guess, COVID had definitely lots of downs, but some ups, and I guess this is one of the ups that we now have you here. Thanks a lot for the background. I definitely didn't know that all that information, and thanks a lot. It was nice to know. One of the actually first things that I guess I was well, coming from Iran, when I first heard that, oh, there is someone from Saudi Arabia, but they're also Shia, like, this was weird for me at first. Can you perhaps comment a bit on that? Like, how that general culture is in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. So first, Saudi Arabia has a good percentage of Shia, not as a minority. I I don't have the exact statistic about the number of Shia in Saudi Arabia. I think I'm guessing, but even if you look at Wikipedia and some of the statistics, probably they have around 10%, roughly speaking. So the total population of Saudi Arabia around 35 millions. If we try to approximate, we'll say around 3 millions of Saudi citizens are Shia. And the vast majority is Shia, Ithna Ashari. I know some are closer to Yemen, like other different group of Shia. I don't know, Zaidi or Ismaili. But the eastern province of the Saudi Arabia, the Shia on eastern province of Saudi Arabia are Ithna Ashari Shia. And the major two cities in Saudi Arabia that are Shia is Al-Qatif or Qatif, and the second one is Al-Ahsa, where I came from. Al-Ahsa is not a full Shia, as I would expect, based on some of the municipality counts, around 60% of the people of Al-Ahsa are Shia. So we have 1 million population in Al-Ahsa, almost like 500 to 600,000 people are Shia, Ithna Ashari, 12ers. And I was one of the suburb village where all are Shia. We have our mosque, we have our Husseiniya, alhamdulillah, we do our ritual, like practice of Shia, but at some degree, I mean, we have our mosque, our Husseiniya. We have access to the citizen infrastructure, things like schools and healthcare system, as a citizen of Saudi Arabia, and also access to the education, like by citizenship, has nothing to do with religion in that part. Obviously, the Shia and a small minority Shia in Saudi Arabia is different than like a bigger bigger population in Iraq, for example, or in Iran, maybe in Afghanistan. I don't know, but I think even in Afghanistan.
Thank you, thank you. Let's get into business. So, what inspired you to like pursue this particular career path? What inspired you to go into medical studies? So, what was your drive?
So, as I mentioned, I chose medical school when I was 18. And to be completely honest, the reason I chose medicine is because I don't know, this is the culture we have. I don't know if it's similar to Iran. I do think there is some similarity in the Middle Eastern people. So because I was ranked #1 in high school, and people are expecting the top, I don't know, 5 or 10 or whoever, and the graduating from high school would go to medical school or some sort of, most of them, they think about medical school for some reason, and including me. I don't know why, but I had the chance to choose between going to some engineering, and particularly in the oil companies, like Aramco. I got scholarship from Aramco at that time, but scholarship was for engineering or something related to the oil field. And I got another acceptance for the medical school, and I was in the middle, hesitant where to go. and and I felt the cultures for me at that time to go to medical school, but I also asked my mother. My mother raised me. She was like single parent. She raised me. She was everything for me, and she doesn't have medical background, and she did not even do she did not like finish elementary school. She knows how to read Quran, read Mafatih al-Jinan. She knows to she studied in the what we call the maktab, yes, and the katatib or something. They just know how to read, write, and how to read Quran, read Mafatih al-Jinan, but she did not do like the official schooling. And then I told her, well, I got these options. What should I do? And she did not put any pressure on me. She told me it's up to you. But if she would pick, she would go to medicine. then then I decided to pursue medicine.
Sure. I mean, definitely the culture in Iran is similar, and my mom has always been like, "Yeah, why didn't you become a doctor? You could have helped me when I was sick." Moms, gotta love them. So, I know you did mention some as you were going, but so some of the obstacles, as you said. But let's, even if there were maybe more important obstacles, like, okay, you didn't talk about what prompted you to go to Canada. Maybe you could talk about that. And also, I guess the more important thing is in those moments, how did you try to make those decisions? Or were there anything that stood out in those moments for you?
Yeah, um, it is a journey. It is a journey, and there are multiple like decisions, and we looked many times at the end result, which is where you ended up in any location, but we don't know what happened behind that location. At some point, I was not confident. I was super confident, wrongly, mistakenly. I was young in my early 20, and I thought I can do anything, and I was wrong. I
You
I
seem to have done everything.
Uh-huh. So I applied for doing some local training because I didn't want to leave far from where my family were. And I was confident I will get accepted for a training. And I did maybe 5 or 6 interviews in different hospital. Then I thought I did a great job in the interview. Then I was rejected. then I was rejected. I was a little bit shocked and to digest the rejection. Rejection is failure. Rejection is part of any journey, and it has a bitter taste. No one like. I mean, it does. But believe me, you won't grow without failures and rejections. No doubt. So then I changed my mind. I would say I was a little bit close-minded to not to go far from my city, from my province. But then with that rejection, I think that was like a hammer on my head to say, hey man, you have to open your mind. Why are you closing the world over your eyes? And it was I am super blessed. I was rejected, and now I now I can imagine myself. What if I was accepted? Uh, will I be in the same situation where I am right now? And now, Alhamdulillah, I have multiple licenses. I can practice in Canada, I can practice in the United States, I can practice in Saudi Arabia, I can practice in Australia, New Zealand, I can practice in so many different countries. I have like a passport of medical license. I can go anywhere. In addition to the development and growth that I gathered during my journey, So that was the spark for twisting my arm to leave my little circle. And but Canada was not my first choice.
Oh,
Canada, I thought Canada is far. Who in the world will bring me from that little village to Canada? Which again, I don't know where Canada was.
mm,
Then I was looking at. I don't want to make it a long story, but I thought to go to Ireland. Then Ireland told me we want 2 years of experience. I didn't have 2 years of experience.
yes.
Then I said I want to come to the United States, but then the United States say we have multiple exams, you have to go through them. Then I said, how about I explore Canada? There was one exam and some stuff to finish before you join them, and I did them, and I ended up with the matching in Canada.
Okay. I guess, I mean, I know we always say this, that we shouldn't be, again, as you said, rejection is a part of it. You shouldn't be upset. And we read this a lot, that وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. But yes, indeed, as you said, I mean, you are seeing it clearly as when you're looking back that this seems to have much better. God had better plans for you. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So, in those moments of frustration and hardship, what kept you going? How did you manage to stay motivated?
Your question start to get harder, Taha. So again, we're human at the end of the day. We have the days where we feel we're down. We don't have energy, or we feel it's not necessarily we don't have energy, but we procrastinate, we slow down, and we need to spark our motivation back again. I think one of the things I learned, again, I mean, like everyone here, I think everyone has some sort of procrastination. No denial. I think every individual. And this symptoms is prevalent in PhD students. That's true, based on some.
Unfortunately, true here.
So, and I mean, and data showing that if you procrastinate, for example, the number one reason that push you to do the task is when you have deadlines. And the problem is deadlines can happen in the university, like in PhD thesis, they give you the deadline is April 15th. You know that you know the time, the date, the deadline. You plan to, for example, to complete your thesis in 4 months. Then month number 1, you do only 5%, 2, 0%. Then when there are just last 2 weeks, you start to work crazily because the spark to handle procrastination was the deadline. The problem with why almost everyone is has some sort of procrastination is in many objectives in our lives we don't have deadline. Example, you want to get married, and if you don't have deadline, probably you won't get married. But if you put deadlines, say I want to get married 2025, for example, and you have a serious deadline like a graduation submission for your thesis. Even if you don't have the wife yet ready in the last 2 weeks, you'll find a wife. the wife will come from Earth. You'll figure out a solution for that. So back to your question is in the moments where you feel you're down, your energy is low, you're frustrated. So I personally, I do multiple steps. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail. I try to do some self-care. I do play sports on regular basis because I do think that a healthy body will create healthy mind. And we have a saying in Arabic, العقل السليم في الجسم السليم, or sound minds in a sound body. So self-care is one, and that includes not only physical activity but also adequate sleep. And now with in the era of screens, many people they go to bed but they don't sleep. they play with their phones and they spend hours on bed, and then they don't get adequate sleep. Again, I'm not trying to say I'm great with sleep, but I do my best for self-care, for doing some sports. I think I put some pictures about some of the sports I enjoy, and I don't know that I can control it here or not. No, this is when I moved to Pennsylvania. Go one more. Yes. So so I do. I do play squash, and I play squash professionally. I mean, I played until now. I play once a week. I played last night, by just FYI. And during my university and postgrad education, I used to play soccer once a week. I tried to stay physically active as much as I could stay in shape. I don't know is that still ongoing or not. I stopped playing soccer because of knee injury, but I still play squash and try to maintain my stay in shape at least. And so things that I usually do to re-motivate yourself is self-care, socialize with friends if I can, and meet sometimes even meeting new people if needed. I remember when sometimes if I go to a conference and I know no ones, after 2 days I feel, come on, I only know the walls here. And then I just start to talk with new colleagues, new faces, but we share the same interests sometimes. Most of the time they're boring for you because they have medical interests, but at least we share some interests.
Now, what part has your faith and your belief played in your life, in your career, and how has it influenced it? How would you say it has influenced it?
Well, this is I think this is a very great question. I think we as Shia, and we're follower of Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi alayhim, we read through their words that a Shia person should represent Shia in a good way. Whether the good way is in education, or even don't let other people to provide help more than you can if you're available. So you're Rahimallah Jafar ibn Muhammad laqad addaba shi'ata. So as a Shia, I'm proud that we follow Ahlul Bayt and their words. And through the journey, I mean, I lived in different states and different cities where Shia are non-existing, but I do my maximum best to join any Shia community, because I think in order to complete my spiritual, it's not only spiritual inside, I need to be connected with Shia, and that is complemented in Ahadith Ahlul Bayt. Tazawaru, riwayah, tazawaru, visit each other. Hey, mu'min, you're Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Visit each other. Even if you go and eat food, just only food, that is complemented. You get rewarded. You get ajr from through the riwayah. And there are many influential people in my life. I was privileged. This didn't come like this because I am a good person and let's try to be a good. I was privileged. I was surrounded by people who had strong influence on me to hold Shia with two hands. And I am proud, I am Shia, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. And I have one picture, the control. Can you press one? So yeah, this is example of some of the influential people who changed my life immediately when I joined the college. So you see that Sheikh, this is my cousin, the guy I'm trying to kiss his head. This Sheikh was in Qom, and he was a student, close student of Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani. And we call Sheikh Ali. He's one of my cousin. He still has once a week meeting with the young people, and we were like medical students, college students, people from everywhere, not only college. They come and have dedicated one Friday night. They meet this person. He is knowledgeable. He came from a school of Sheikh Wahid, and Sheikh Wahid is the Ustad of House at Qom. And we can't talk about Sheikh Wahid. Ayatollah, it's one of the top respected scholar. And Dr. Sheikh Wahid, thousands of great scholars graduated under Sheikh Wahid. And then I started to know Sheikh Wahid, not personally, but reading books of Sheikh Wahid. And Sheikh Wahid Khurasani, if you even listen in YouTube, I don't understand Farsi, but just listening to Sheikh Wahid and read the subtitles, sometimes in Arabic and English or any, I don't know, but it has a strong influence on anyone who hears Sheikh Wahid. At least myself, I listened to over like more than 10 years. When I was 18, I started to know Sheikh Wahid, in the YouTube, the website. And I started to even read the subtitles because many of the lectures were in Farsi. And he's a miraculous that he connects you strongly to Ahlul Bayt. He put huge emphasis on connecting to and being connected to Imam Hussein. And I continued to do this once weekly session. I did it for, I don't know, 6 years or so. And that the first few sessions were, I just want to join in here. But then doing these sessions over like 200 sessions on weekly basis, I was going to the College of Medicine from Monday through Friday. Not Monday, we have different weekends, but I go the weekdays to the college, then in the weekends I come and attend the Shia studies. It was not Hausa, like a pure specific Hausa, but it was for educating the youth how to stay connected to Ahlul Bayt and how to have solid evidence about every faith. It is aqa'id. Most of the question about aqa'id. Why do I believe Imam Ali is? We believe, I'm 100%, we believe خير خلق الله محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. And I believe خير خلق الله بعد رسول الله أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. It is not, I believe it because of emotional connection to Imam Ali. Every Muslim claims the emotional love of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But the evidence behind, there are billions, there are plenty of evidence indicating that the خير خلق الله بعد رسول الله أمير المؤمنين, from Quran, from Sunnah. And I'm not Sheikh here to give a lecture about why Amir al-Mu'mineen is خير خلق الله بعد رسول الله. But for examples, if you believe ما آتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا, and you believe Rasulullah وأن قال وأنفسنا وأنفسكم, and خير نفس is Rasulullah, and if Ali is nafs Rasulullah, then what nafs in this world is equivalent to Amir al-Mu'mineen? None. It is only Amir al-Mu'min Akhu Rasulillah and Nafs Rasulillah. This is one evidence connecting just the ayah with riwayah, and there are, I don't want to give numbers, but hundreds of evidence. And these sessions are not just to say haphazardly Amir al-Mu'minin is khair because we're Shia. No, we want you to have evidence behind it. Similarly, when we go to Imam Hassan Hussein, Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, who is in heaven? Adam is in heaven, Noah is in heaven, Ibrahim is in heaven. But if Hassan wa Hussein, Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, by no means, this is they call itlaq, and this is the Hausa. They call it itlaq, umum, and takhsis. Every person on heaven, Imam Hassan Hussein is the Sayyid of every person in heaven. That's a umum. You take out exclusion based on evidence, because we have evidence that Rasulullah is khayru khalqillah after Rasulullah is Imam Ali. And then we conclude based on evidence and based on usul and qawa'id, the equations for istidlal, that why we say Imam Ali is khayru khalqillah, why we say Imam Hassan and Hussein are khayru khalqillah after Prophet and after Imam Ali. So that's I'm going back to your question. This is the faith that I'm proud of, that we belong to Ahlul Bayt, and we listen to our respected scholars, like this influence of Sheikh Wahid Khurasani, for example. This is just only one example.
Great, thank you so much. One thing, you mentioned as well, I guess I'll mention my 2 cents on it. This has kind of stuck with me, a wording, a hadith from Imam Sadiq, if I'm not mistaken, that he says, Kunu lana zainan wa la takunu alayna shaynan. So Imam Sadiq is saying to us, hopefully Shias, that be an ornament for us and don't be, what's shaynan? Don't be a cause for bad representation for us. So us Shia, we have to be careful about our actions. Thank you so much. Now, finally, what advice would you give the younger among us, the younger brothers and sisters here? Of course, besides getting married, which I can't, but what advice would you be giving to the younger among us?
Yeah, I think you're younger than me, so my first advice is get married.
Thank you.
So when I just would like to highlight. So the reason we're talking here is it is only about to share my experience again, and the purpose of this only sharing experience, whether they're failure with it, ups and downs, it is an experience, and we learn from these experiences. So I think we need to be patient with the results. Success is a journey, it's not a destination, and you'll have lots of ups and downs within that journey. As long as you embrace, you know your shortcoming and try to rectify them. Ask for help when there is a need for help, and try. And I do advise people to ask. I advise myself and younger people who listen to me to always ask for help if you need for help. But at the same token, I would say, know how to ask for help. Asking for help is a skill you build with time. It's not be dependent on other. Many times you may need a mentor in your life, your role model. Believe me, mentor and role models often listen, but they don't want a person to come only for like spoon feeding. They want 2 things. They want someone to know how to ask, and then They want to not only appreciation from after they help. They want to see that their help is working. So, for example, if you want to ask for if you're in the doing like PhD thesis and you struggle with, for example, the writing, let's just say it's you have the knowledge, you have the ideas, but you don't know how to put it in paper, for example. Then when you have that difficulty, ask for help, but with the two things I said. The first, know how to ask, and what I mean by know how to ask is be specific. You knock the door, dear doctor, dear mentor, dear brother, dear father, dear any person, the one you want the help from, then specifically, I need your help with this. You've written multiple chapters. I need your help with this. So that's a specific, straightforward, with respect that you need some help. And the second part is you do your work after you get the help from the person. Then the other person, they don't want you to just say thank you. It's not, or appreciate you. They want to see that their help is working. Example would be when you publish your paper, when you graduate from your thesis, send them a letter saying, thank you for the help, but they're not looking for the thank you. Here is my publication. That's the outcome of their help. So they're proud of the outcome at the end of the day. So I always tell myself to, because I still need help in multiple aspects. I personally, I had, I don't know how much time we have, but I mean, yeah. I had difficulties also when I moved to Canada. English is not my first language. So I had to study in English. Medicine needs medical writing. I had to take a course specifically for medical writing. I had to learn. I still have my accent in English, but I had to take additional courses, how to speak English, how to articulate English, and still until now I still take courses how to improve my delivery. And I took a course in like when I was doing my postgrad in medical writing, because I had the idea, but I didn't know how to write it down in a professional way and to be published. Then I published many papers after I missed, and now I peer review paper, but that didn't come over one day. It takes like persistence and dedication and work. And so similarly, I think one important, you ask, how would you advise? One important step, probably, this is the most important advice I tell any student in the college. The advice is, if a person wants to succeed in academic or even after academic, do not ignore public speaking. Public speaking is the number one skill. Everyone should listen to this. The number one skill that will take you anywhere you want. Anywhere. You want to be CEO? If you don't master public speaking, you won't be CEO. Companies don't care about your certificates or PhD or your GPA or others. They want to know you know how to deliver what you want to say. And if you enjoy teaching and doing academic education, if you enjoy conferences, you have to master public speaking. But I will take one step back here to say, I am here in the tone of giving one advice, which I think it is important. Public speaking is not easy to. It's not like it's drinking water. It doesn't happen overnight. But the good thing is, There are many courses online, many courses even in the apps to help you how to master public speaking. Initially, you will kill the fear from on stage fear. Then you start to deliver 10 minutes talk, not more than 10 minutes, to master the 10 minutes, gradually build it. Then you can talk for 1 hour. Then you can give, instead of giving like 10 people, 20, more and more. It happens over time, but do not ignore the first steps of getting and honing that skills. Please, please, please do not ignore that skill for any step in your life, for any career.
Great, thanks a lot. Yep, public speaking, especially maybe for it is very important. It may be harder for people, especially when English is a second language, but definitely is a skill that you need to master. And yeah, sure, in academia, definitely in industry, and yep, thanks a lot. One more slide. Okay.
So yeah, I'm not going to talk. This is because we're living in the Western. I personally, because you asked about my faith, I read this book, Fiqh al-Muqtaribin. This is I don't know if I read the Arabic version, and I read this one, and this is all about ahkam for living in the Western region. And as a follower of Sayyid Sistani, I read the Arabic version, but I do advise all the kids, if they have the chance to read, probably there's an English version or Farsi, and Farsi, yeah. So this is great for your daily practice, and like halal, haram, and we practice that in every aspect, every moment of breath. That, huh? Yes, yeah. I read the whole Arabic version, but I do think there is Farsi and English, probably other languages. I don't know. The other thing that I read and helped me is Sayyid Sistani. At least I put it here. There is a Nasah Sayyid Sistani for Shabab Mu'min, for the Shia youth. Sayyid Sistani, it was very. It's not even like 10 pages. Simple and like summary, just to the point. And I think Sayyid Sistani listed 10 or 12 simple advices for all Shia Mu'min. And he put it like, I'm not going to, that needs another session. We can do another session about this, but the points about what Shia should do, particularly when you come to the Western world. And thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Brother Jafar, and thank you for giving us a strong start. And Jazakumullah khaira. Please send a loud salawat. So the next part is gonna be in Persian. So I think it's about the Saturday Meher School. We're gonna be seeing a presentation regarding the Saturday Meher School. We had a session last weekend with the Farsi teacher, and I'll be giving so any English speakers, sorry for this, but if you are an English speaker and you would like your children to be enrolled in a Saturday Farsi school, or perhaps there are also Saturday art schools, reach out, we'll give you more information. الان ما قراره یک اسلاید و یک سری ویدیو ببینیم از یک جلسه ای که آخر هفته قبل اینجا برگزار شد در مورد مدرسه شنبه. مدرسه شنبه از این هفته شروع میشه و کلاس های فارسی و هنر داریم و ممکنه اگر افراد کافی علاقه‌مند باشن کلاس عربی برای بزرگسالان هم داشته باشیم، اما کلاس فارسی و هنر قطعی هست، از فردا شروع میشه. اگر شما فرزندتون رو برای کلاس فارسی میخواین ثبت نام بکنین و هنوز نکردین، اگر فردا صبح قبل ساعت 10 صبح بیایید امکان ثبت نام همچنان هست برای فردا، ولی بعد 10 صبح دیگه معلم مشغول هستن. اکنون این پرزنتیشن رو میبینیم. Can you please play the clip?
سلام علیکم و رحمت الله. صبح شما بخیر. خیلی خوش اومدین. ممنون که هستین اینجا. خوش اومد به خانم رجایی و دختر نازنینشون. خیلی خوشبختیم با شما اینجا. واقعا اکسایتد هستیم که یک سال تحصیلی جدید رو برای به خصوص کلاس فارسیمون شروع میکنیم. We're looking forward to it. بچه هایی که شنیدن خانم رجایی میخوان این کلاس رو تدریس بکنن دوباره خیلی خوشحال بودن. از جناب آقای خواهش میکنم تشریف برنامه رو معرفی بکنن خدمت با یه صلوات بلند.
سلام علیکم و رحمت الله. زیاد مصدق نمیشم چون ما در خدمت خانم رجایی باشیم، بعد آقای سلطانی مدرس هنرمون باشیم و ادامه برنامه. صرفا یه سری توضیحات کلی به ذهنم رسید که خدمت شما عرض بکنم در مورد اهمیت یه چنین برنامه. همونطور که میدونید ما شیعیان در آمریکا در اقلیت هستیم، مخصوصا شیعیان فارسی زبان یا دری زبان. و اگر ما خودمون به فکر خودمون نباشیم و کامیونیتی برای خودمون نسازیم و کامیونیتی مسلمانان، شیعیان، خصوصا فارسی زبانان یا دری زبانان رو تقویت نکنیم، منسجم نکنیم، از هم حمایت نکنیم، در این جامعه مضمحل میشیم. یعنی فرزندان ما که بزرگ بشن، ما ناگهان با این واقعیت مواجه میشیم که فرزندان ما با ما غریبه‌اند و ما با اونها غریبه‌ایم. از این فرهنگ فاصله گرفتن، زبان همو نمیفهمیم و اون موقع دیره. در همین رابطه من میخوام توجه شما جلب بکنم به فتوای بعضی از مراجع که با شرایط مسلمان‌ها در مغرب زمین آشنا هستند. من جمله آقای سیستان به جهت روابط بین‌المللی که داره آگاه‌تر است از بقیه مراجع راجع به شرایط زندگی مسلمان‌ها در ایشون اخیراً فتوا دادن که اگر در مدارس مغرب زمین مسائل غیر اسلامی، آنچه که با فرهنگ اسلامی ناسازگار تدریس میشه، گفتن حرامه که بچه‌هاتون رو بفرستین مدرسه عمومی. و ما میدونیم این اتفاق میفته. خیلی خانواده‌ها اطلاع ندارن، اصلا مدارس تعدادشون به خانواده‌ها نمیگن، بچه‌ها هم نمیان راجع بهش صحبت کنن، اما مسائلی مثل LGBTQ، ایده هایی که با ارزش های اسلامی، باورهای اسلامی ناسازگاره، از اون سن کوچک به بچه ها داره تغذیه میشه و خورانده میشه و اون سنی نیست که بچه ها بخوان اکسپوز بشن به این محتواها. چرا بزرگ شدن، وقتی که شخصیتشون، عقلشون رشد کرد، به بلوغ رسید، میتونن خودشون تصمیم بگیرن، میتونن راجع به این مسائل فکر کنن و راه درست رو انتخاب کنن. اما از سن کوچک این مسائل اگر برای بچه‌ها نورمالایز بشه، عادی سازی بشه، مثل حقیقت و بخشی از واقعیت براشون درونی میشه. یعنی همچنان که خیلی از چیزها براشون طبیعیه و جزء آفرینش خداوند هست، این مسائل اینجوری خواهند دید و یک جوری اینترنالایز میشه و این اتفاق خیلی اتفاق خطرناکیه. یعنی فردا روز دیگه دیره بخوایم ما راجع به این فکر کنیم. این مدرسه شنبه هم که ما داریم سعی میکنیم راه بندازیم پا بگیره، در همون جهت است. ما داریم سعی میکنیم که کامیونیتی شیعیان و مخصوصا شیعیان فارسی یا دری زبان رو یه مقدار منسجم‌تر کنیم، دور هم جمع کنیم، فرزندانمون بیان در این فضا تنفس کنن، در این فضا رشد کنن و خلاصه فرهنگ ما رو در اینجا دریافت کنن. اینجا دریافت نکنن جای دیگه دریافت نمی‌کنن. و اون چیزی ما در نظر داریم اینه که شنبه ها رو ما اینجا تبدیل به یه ساتردی اسکول کنیم یا ویکند اسکول. یه روزی باشه که بچه‌ها بیان، هم بهشون خوش بگذره و هم جنبه آموزشی داشته باشه، یعنی هم جنبه تفریحی هم آموزشی داشته باشه. روزشون رو اینجا بگذرونن، بیان کلاس فارسی. خب یکی از جنبه‌های اصلی فرهنگ ایرانی و دری ما هست، اینو یاد بگیرن، هنر ایرانی اسلامی یاد بگیرن و بعد نماز جماعت هست، پذیرایی ظهر هست. یه پکیج کاملی ما در نظر داریم که اگه بشه، اگه خانواده‌ها ساپورت کنن بیان وسط، این اتفاق بیفته. این اتفاق بیفته، من به شما قول میدم که در انتهای سال همه خانواده‌ها خوشحال خواهند شد و خانواده‌های دیگری خواهند پیوست. اما این برنامه شکل نمیگیره مگر اینکه تک تک ما احساس مسئولیت، یعنی هرچی من و دوستانم بشیم برنامه رو بکنیم ولی خانواده‌ها ساپورت نکنن اتفاقی نخواهد افتاد. تک تک ما باید خودمون رو صاحب و ولی این برنامه بدونیم. این برنامه مال ماست، مال همه ماست. ما به یک اندازه در قبالش در واقع ولایت داریم، مال خودمون، تعلق به ما داره و به همون اندازه مسئولیت داره. خب ما در ادامه صحبت خانم رجایی رو خواهیم داشت که همه شما میشناسیدش و ما مفتخریم که ایشون پذیرفتن که امروز رو تشریف بیارن. بعد آقای سلطانی عزیز انشالله یه صحبتی خواهند داشت در مورد کلاس‌های هنر. ایشون از هنرمندان درجه یک کامیونیتی ما هستن که در رشته هنری مختلف تخصص دارن. خودشون صحبت خواهند کرد و با بزرگواری پذیرفتن که این هنرشون رو به کسانی که علاقه‌مندن آموزش بدن. خب خانم رجایی محبت بفرمایید.
السلام عليك يا أبا محمد الحسن المجتبى ورحمة الله وبركاته.
سلام خدمت همگی بزرگواران. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم و بهی نستعین انه خیر ناصر و معین. اگه اجازه بدین من صحبتمو با حدیثی از امام سجاد شروع میکنم. امام سجاد میفرمایند که و انک مسئول اما ولیته به من حسن الادب و دلالت علی ربه عز وجل. و تو مسئول هستی نسبت به او، نسبت به سرپرستی او و اینکه او رو خوب ادب کنی و به سوی خداوند دلالت و راهنمایی کنی. و المعونة له علی طاعته، و کمک کنی که او بتونه در مسیر طاعت خداوند حرکت بکنه. فعمل فی امره عمل من یعلم انه مصاب علی الاحسان الیه معاقب علی الساعة الیه. پس طوری عمل کن، عمل اون کسی که میدونه که اگر اون بچه بره به سمت کار خیر، توی پدر مادر هم باهاش شریکی و مورد ثواب قرار میگیری. و اگر خدای نکرده بچه ما بره به سمت شر و سوء و عمل زشتی که نباید ازش سر بزنه، پدر مادر هم باهاش معاقبن، یعنی مورد عقوبت، مورد سؤال قرار میگیرن. من دوست دارم که شما رو در واقع تنبهی بدم، گرچه که من کوچکتر از اون هستم که بخوام این صحبت ها رو بکنم، اما یادآوری و تذکر این مسائل خوبه که ما بهش متوجه و متذکر بشیم. مدارس یک کریکولومی دارن، درسته که میرن تربیت حالا علمی میشن، به قول معروف education اونجا صورت میگیره، ساینس و مس و سوشال ساینس و انواع چیزا رو یاد میگیرن، کار گروهی یاد میگیرن، بلوزه مثبت یاد میگیرن. اما این هم بدونیم که خیلی ایدن کریکولوم هست که ما نمیدانیم، نه اینکه اونا بخوان اعمال بکنن در حالی که ما نمیدونیم، اما چه بسا ما بهش توجه نداریم. بچه هایی که میرن پابلیک و میان هممون دیدیم دیگه، یه تکه کلام هایی رو یاد
جزاکم الله خیرا.
میگیرن، یک
Please,
مدل
in
حرف
remembrance
زدنی
of the
برخوردایی
passed
براشون
away community
کاملا
member,
عادی
dear
میشه.
brother Mahdi Adlu, please
کاملا عادی
recite
میشه. یعنی توی
Fatiha
سن شما
with a
یهو
loud
میبینی
salawat.
بچه شما با شما طوری صحبت میکنه که شما به هیچ وجه دوست نداری بچه‌تون باهاتون اینجوری صحبت کنه، ولی داره میکنه. Who cares? I don't care. None of your business. یعنی ما حواسمون باشه به اینکه چه چیزهایی رو داریم از دست میدیم. تازه ما باید وقت صرف کنیم برای اینکه اونا رو خنثی کنیم، الا اینکه ما چقدر به بچه‌مون آموزش دادیم. اینا همه چیزهایی
Brothers and
هستش که ما
sisters,
باید
please head
خیلی
downstairs
بهش
for
توجه بکنیم به عنوان
Hot
پدر
Luck dinner.
مادر. بچه ها چجوری فرهنگ رو یاد میگیرن، چجوری کالچر رو یاد میگیرن، در نتیجه رفت و آمد و اینتراکشنی که با افراد اون جامعه دارن دیگه. من اگه میخوام بچه من فرهنگ ایرانی یا شرقی یا افغانی یا به هر حال دینی من رو بیاموزه، یه سری لوازم داره. آیا من به اون لوازم توجه میکنم یا نمیکنم؟ اگر من به اون توجه کافی نداشته باشم، سرمو میچرخونم، میبینم که بچه من بزرگ شده و هیچ چیز